The people of the Mahoning Valley have had many stories to share. The story we tell becomes our narrative. Where have we been? Where are we now? What must we continue to risk, learn, adapt, and move forward on to be a successful community? It's our role as businesses, workers, and leaders to make sure the good guys are telling the best stories. That is our stage today. There is much to be learned from the Hopi Indian proverb, "Those who tell the stories rule the world."
We were invited as an institution to an open session where they were talking about a community development organization, and so we went along to hear all about what was happening regarding this new Youngstown Development Corporation. It wasn't even named at the time.
Yep. Home Savings has helped us to build the capacity so we can be what we are today. That's throughout the organization. So we were just at our office, our farm. The Home Savings has invested in that. Home Savings has put tremendous time and energy into all of our housing programs, so our housing counseling, our lending, not only money but also staff time.
The trust builds the platform for enhanced loyalty. So if I didn't trust Ian, I couldn't recommend to Home Savings or any other institution or entity to partner with them for anything.
Every day I drive by through the I-door area going back to home and into work, and it's so exciting to see what they're doing, and when there's a new garden put up and a new home that's been revitalized, it's just refreshing.
And to see the results of the work here and to know that we're applying those same principles to 10 other neighborhoods throughout the city, and to see that, in this little hub we've been able to do so much, but we can apply what we've done here to other areas and see the same revitalization in those areas, and ultimately we hope that there's a ripple effect and we'll see that throughout the whole city.
Core values that we have and what we like to accomplish in the community. You're making the community better for everyone. Financial literacy, that's certainly something we focus on, and you bring that to the community better, in my opinion, than anyone else.
Back in 2010 with staff, we were fixing 2 or 3 houses a year, maybe counseling 30 people. Now that's exponentially growing.
All the financial money in the world can't make it happen if there isn't a passion and a vision like these folks have, and they live it and execute it every day.
We see Home Savings as kind of the exemplar in terms of the banking industry locally and their sincere commitment to Youngstown and the Mahoning Valley.
I always knew of Cortland Bank because they were a local bank and I'm a local person, so they were on the radar, and then they started expanding.
One of our directors, who is in the packing business, has a packing operation, knew the family for many years, made an introduction to Franklin and Louise. It was back in 2007, right as the Rowley family was preparing for their new construction of their South Avenue store.
For me, one of the biggest pleasures has been in the last 10 years, our relationship with Cortland Bank. They've become an extended part of our family.
We have serviced family businesses for 125 years.
It's just really something when you call somebody and you know it's local, and you call the bank manager and you need something, or you need to look into something, or you ran out of deposit slips or whatever, they go through hoops, and it almost seems like it's a throwback, like you're going back 20 or 30 years to the way things used to be.
There's a lot of similarities between our businesses. I know that your family is celebrating 100 years in the Valley. Cortland, very similarly, this year is our 125th anniversary. And Michael and I have talked about this, to be able to stay as local independent businesses in this community when the independent grocers in Michael's business and the community banks in our industry continue to dissipate. We really feel passionate about what we do in our particular businesses, and we love working together. It's been a pleasure working with the Rowley family and being part of this community.
Cortland really allowed us to take off any kind of restraints about a certain contractor that you would want to use, or your time restraints. When you loosen that up, it allows a lot of flexibility to get a little bit creative with your design and your concept, and making things actually work together in a puzzle that fits.
Michael mentioned the importance of employee base. Our employee bases are very similar. Michael has over 100 employees, we have over 150 employees. To be able to actually keep the bank in the community, to employ that level of employee base, is particularly important to us, and we hope that we're here for another 100 years, and I hope the Rowley family is here for another 100 years.
Absolutely.
Well, I met Mike through one of my fellow bankers, Perry Chikanowski. He introduced us and we got to know each other, and it was about the time that they were looking to start the Landgraf chocolate project.
I tried to tell Dan no, and we were actually planning to go in a different direction. But Dan just kind of calmly and coolly continued to work on our behalf when I told him there was nothing in it for him. And that stick-to-itiveness and that commitment to getting the job done, whether or not it was going to end up good for him, that really impressed me.
When a bank is in a relationship with a business, there has to be mutual trust. The client, Mike, has to trust that we're going to deliver on what we've said that we would do in terms of supporting the project financially. We have to trust that Mike's going to deliver on what he's planned to do, the business plans that he's laid out.
They've done the financing for this project all the way from start to finish, and they've delivered on what they promised for us, and we're doing what we've got to do to keep up on our end of that. So we're happy with the way things are going.
And I'm really proud of the quality. I have no qualms whatsoever about suggesting to clients that they might want to stop by Landgraf Chocolate or the Bread Chef, because I know the commitment that Mike has to making sure that everything that comes out of these stores is just excellent quality and that his clients are happy.
As part of my culinary training in Pittsburgh, we did study chocolates there. I worked here for a local chocolate maker and learned the ins and outs of the business there. And it's just always been part of one of my lists of goals in the culinary world to work with chocolate.
When you talk about relationship, who wouldn't want to have a good relationship with somebody that makes chocolate? So I'm delighted to be able to work with Landgraf Chocolates.
Well, Compass really does a lot of great things in the community that a lot of people don't know about. You know, teenage runaways or domestic violence, and also their focus on workforce development and financial education really partners up well with PNC's philanthropic support.
Our relationship from Compass Family and Community Services goes back, as I've learned, over 50 years, and we've always had an excellent working relationship with the staff at PNC and with Ted. You know, easy to pick up the phone, make a phone call, and talk with him or talk with Ryan, and it's just been just a wonderful relationship.
You know, we're stewards, PNC, of our money that we want to give out to the community, and we have to have trust in those organizations to make sure that those dollars are being put to great use. And having that partnership with Joe and his team, we feel really good about that support within the community.
Many of our grants that we receive, we require local cash match, and if it was not for the generosity of PNC, we would not be able to secure some of the state and federal grants that we receive.
I'm starting my 28th year at PNC. My commercial banking team has an average of over 20 years. My retail team, 30 years with PNC. And our business banking team, they average over 12 years. You don't get that in too many places in today's environment. I think that with any relationship, that longevity really solidifies a trusted relationship.
We as an organization receive donations, and we have events in which people want to donate to us. And so we were able to pick up the phone, call PNC and our representative, and we got our internet portal set up so that individuals can go onto our website, put in their credit card information in a safe, secure manner.
Joe is local, and his team runs the program here locally. At PNC, we also, as I mentioned, are stewards of our philanthropic dollars, and those are local decision making. So that connection with my local team, Joe's local team, to deliver services here with our dollars is a win-win for both of us.
If it wasn't for their strong support, we wouldn't be able to do the things that we do.
The relationship with Huntington Bank and the diocese go back to 1965, and that's quite an achievement within both the diocese and Huntington Bank. What the diocese has done over those years and the trust factor that we've built amongst the diocese and Huntington Bank has been tremendous. And the fact that the Diocese of Youngstown are in 6 counties, so is Huntington Bank. So that partnership has grown over those years since 1965, and it's just been fantastic over the years.
We like especially their technology capabilities, the flexibility of that, because not only to the approximate 90 parishes we have throughout our diocese, we have over 30 schools, we have cemeteries located throughout the diocese, and nursing facilities. So all of those different entities bring their own set of unique banking challenges, and Huntington's there to serve the needs.
We help them process their checks faster. When they issue checks, they have more control over when those funds are actually being dispersed. And then of course we provide them with reporting so they know exactly where they stand, because they use those funds for so many different sources within our community.
Our most recent construction of a new church in the diocese, Huntington was a big part of making that happen up in Trumbull County. When we have a new addition or a restoration or new construction of a church, school, or other associated building, Huntington is one of the partners that we look toward.
It's very important to build trust with your customers, and an organization like the Diocese of Youngstown is that you want to make sure that you're doing the right things because of the things that they do in the community. So it's very important that that trust level is there. That trust from the standpoint of when they call, we're able to respond to their needs so they can continue to service the community.
And I am very proud to be a partner with the diocese. I find what you do to be amazing within our communities, and it's wonderful to be a part of that.
Well, as Mike has told me, he's been a customer of Farmers Bank since he was a young boy.
I believe probably since I was about 7 or 8.
7 or 8. And your mother and father were customers of Farmers Bank.
My father, that's the only bank he actually dealt with, ever. He opened up an account for us, for each of us, and we saved our nickels and dimes and put in there. And fortunately, I still have that account in my name and my dad's name.
Mike and I really started to grow our relationship, I'd say maybe 15, 16 years ago, whenever he was starting to create the vision for the Ironwood Commons complex. And of course the gemstone or the jewel of that complex is this Hampton Inn where we're at currently. And this has all been created on the family farm?
On the family farm, which my father purchased in the 30s. And we were fortunate enough to be able to hang on to it. At the end, thanks to farmers, we were able to start the development. And this hotel's ranked as high as number 3 in the chain out of over 2,000 hotels worldwide.
It's great to be part of that.
If it wasn't for you guys, we wouldn't have been able to.
Well,
so that's the important thing.
But it's all about the relationship and building that relationship over time. And it's so important.
Friendship, trust, loyalty. Without that, this would just be a business deal.
We're excited about, as I said, participating, but also the future. What's to come?
We just, as you know, we're finishing up our new plaza, fronting 224, which will have 5 tenants. AT&T has moved in already. And then obviously we have plans for the future where I'll be living is going to be in the villas in the back. So there's still probably about 20-some acres to develop here.
And I know personally how many folks approach you over time for help or for support of something that's happening in the community, and Mike's always there. Mike and his family are always there.
We try to follow the footsteps of farmers, because farmers has always been there, and anybody that ever says anything that they need, farmers is always there for them.